Okay, so the claim I will be referring today is on the cloning of humans for medical uses will provide more benefits than drawbacks. The advocate's secondary claims are: one, the idea of cloning humans arose in 1997 with the first successful birth of the cloned sheep named Dolly. And the secondary claim, the cloning of humans may hold many medical solutions. On his first secondary claim, he stated that scientists have cloned other animals like dogs, pigs, and cows to try and perfect the process to have more successful births and eventually move on attempts at humans. But according to American Medical Association, animal cloning remains inefficient as 2 out of 100 experiments create an offspring diminishing the secondary claim. That's about 2% failure. And with this new piece of information, it strengthens the opposition's argument against this statement. And also, ScienceMuseum.org says that Dolly's death may have been caused due to cloning, in that Dolly was, when created, she was pretty healthy and gave birth to sheep. But throughout her life, she developed some genetic abnormalities, and possibly from cloning. And also, on most of this information and from his first secondary claim, it's contradicting the claim of fact, because there's other 2 statements. Cloning of human cells have failed, and cloning is banned in most countries and the U.S. When he stated that human cells have failed and cloning is banned, it hurt his claim of fact that he had no response to why it's banned or why it shouldn't be banned or whatever. And ending his secondary claim with those 2 statements pretty much doesn't even have pretty much dismisses his first secondary claim. There's no reason to have that in there. So he has no support for why the cloning of humans for medical uses will provide more benefits than drawbacks. And on his secondary claim, when he states that the infertile can get fertile, genes can be selected for offspring, and human organs can be cloned, there is no evidence to back this up. The only way he captured attention with this information is by emotional appeal. But it doesn't appear to be very strong, as he has no evidence or reasoning behind it. The first secondary claim also makes this information irrelevant without any sources providing the argument. According to American Chronicle, it states that mutation of genes can occur as many animals were disfigured with severe abnormalities, and the new clone offspring DNA may take the age of the subject. If one is able to clone a human, he would be older in the inside and younger in the outside, meaning that he will possess older organs. So then, like, when he ages, it's possible that he has a shorter lifespan. But some piece of information he could have used in this claim fact. According to Fox News, President Obama is funding embryonic research for stem cells. However, he still continues to ban human cloning. His funding on embryonic research for stem cells will be useful in trying to recreate parts, and may also help with human cloning, even though it's banned. So basically, Obama is contradicting his position on human cloning with the funding of embryonic cells. This sort of information could have brought a start to his argument for his claim of fact. And with that being said, not enough evidence, or there is no evidence or reasoning to back up his claim of the cloning of humans for medical uses will provide more benefits than drawbacks.
All right, the structural points are labeled pretty well. The first point sounds like it's only going to be an informational point from the advocate's point, but you have some good data that you present immediately about failure rates, and you've got the example of Dahlia that you use to demonstrate that there is in fact a problem. You're allowing the evidence to try and make the claim for you. You need to make the claim and then let the evidence support that claim. The transition to the next point was a little bit awkward. There's some argument about what the data is, and somehow their own evidence seems to be undermining the claim from the first point. I did not quite follow the way in which you're making that inference. I'm not saying that the inference was wrong. I'm just saying that I didn't think it was communicated very clearly, and so that would be something that you need to work on. On the fertility issue, I think that you've got a good clear layout of what your challenges are. Each of them is fairly clearly stated. There's a discussion and there's some evidence on the third point about potential problems with the offspring, so I thought that was pretty clear. The argument about Obama's policy on embryonic stem cells, I guess the argument here is we can get the stem cell research and the advantages, and we don't need cloning to do that, and that seems to be the current policy, which undermines the advocate's claim that we need to have cloning in order to get that sort of advantage. I can see how that's a sign that that is true. I'm not sure that it's conclusive the way that you were suggesting. I thought sometimes your explanations were not as clear as they could be. You generally seem to be responding to the advocate's points. There were some interesting analysis, but the impact of the arguments needs to be explained a little bit more to make your position clearer. All right, thank you.